Is that the smell of darkness? What's up, guys? So, Rapunzel here, and here we are to talk about Sora's next steps. Because Kingdom Hearts 4, it's not happening. It's not real. It never was real. You thought we were going to see that game? It's going to be 7 years. It's going to be 7 years. We're going to get a new Kingdom Hearts game a real Kingdom Hearts every 7 years. Thank you, Tetsuya Nomura. I love it. I love being absolutely insane and talking to the wall about how Kingdom Hearts is going to come eventually. It's going to come eventually. But all that to say, obviously, Kingdom Hearts 4 will come out eventually, and it's in a whole new world, a whole new era, an era of those who were lost to the light, not necessarily the darkness. So, ultimately, our protagonist, who was so deeply steeped in said light, has an interesting path to walk, now doesn't he? But, let's not waste any more time, and let's hop right into it. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here, fun fact, anything to have it on me, and keep it on me at all times. Any other fun fact, Sora is in an interesting position by the time of Kingdom Hearts 4. Now, with Missing Link and Union Cross ending and Dark Road ending, well, to be fair, Missing Link hasn't even started, I'm talking about ending, but Missing Link happened, or is happening. Dark Road happened, and we all appreciated it, shockingly enough. It was actually a pretty good story. And Union Cross happened. It was also a very good story, shockingly enough. Thank you, Damo. And finally, Melody of Memory. Those have been the 3 games that have been completed until technically it's weird because Union Cross predates 3. But, or at least as many versions. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to go down the game mess timeline. But essentially what I mean to say is there is going to be no major side game, quote unquote, between 3 and 4. Melody of Memory was a recap game with like 2 extra seconds of plot to justify Sora ending, or not Sora, Riku ending up in Quadratum by the time of the KH3 original secret ending. That's all that game was for. It was literally just for that. And to explain why Kairi is still not going to be a character just yet. We're going to make a video about Kairi another day. And obviously, that means we're actually just going to wholesale start with Sora in Quadratum. That's the only thing we've gotten from Kingdom Hearts 4. And note what Sora has immediately brought to Quadratum. Okay, I already did the bit in the intro. Darkness. Sora has brought darkness to Quadratum. Notably, it was described, at least in Melody of Memory and even in extra materials, as a world beyond light and darkness, if not necessarily beyond, a world untainted by it. The concepts of light and darkness that have long since pervaded throughout the Kingdom Hearts universe have solely existed in our reality, or at least the reality of our main cast and crew. But the first thing that Sora finds when he arrives in Quadratum and wakes up with his bare feet out is not light, but darkness. Of course, Sora is there, but it seems as if darkness even responded to Sora merely existing there, creating the gargantuan pseudo-dark side that we see in the KH4 trailer. And that brought up an interesting idea to me. Notably, I feel like the Dark Seeker saga, the Xehanort saga, was all about Sora gaining a better and greater understanding of the light. Not only the light within himself, but the light of others, and learning how to utilize it, and darn near master it. If you had to ask me who the strongest the strongest light wielder was at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, I'd look at you in the eyes and be like, really? What about the guy who overwrote reality and really broke fate? Yeah, it's Sora. And thusly, I'm not going to say that you can't write an entire narrative surrounding Sora, further developing an understanding of the light, possibly spreading the light in this new reality, almost weirdly enough like an evangelist. It's kind of weird to say it like that, but ultimately being this guardian of light, continuing forward into this new saga. But I think, just as he was perfectly juxtaposed against Xehanort, Xemnas, and young Xehanort, and Xehanort, Xemnas, Ansem, and young Xehanort in the previous saga as the boy steeped in light to those who were lost in the darkness and using said darkness, I think now the dynamic has flipped. Ultimately, who are our main antagonists? Or at least presumably our main antagonists. The Lost Masters. They're who the arc is named for. Meaning the Master of Masters, Lushu. Well, maybe not Ava, because once again Ava didn't appear at the end of KH3, but still, Aset, Envy, Gila, all these wielders, all these monsters, all these enemies are ones of light, quite powerful light, in fact. Light well raised to specifically be the vessels for said darkness. Now, ultimately, do I think Kingdom Hearts 4 and all of the saga following it will be still heavily based in dealing with the darkness? Absolutely. That's the Master's main ambition. But specifically in terms of the people we're going to be directly combating, they will be of the light. And Sora's whole journey in the Dark Seeker saga was that of mastering and evolving the light. So what's the natural next step for Sora? Well, it's a step we've kind of already seen, haven't we? We have another character who was in something that certainly most wasn't the light. Rather, it was the darkness. Riku is a character who walked the Twilight Road to Dawn. His story started as one of corruption, as one of loss, as one as falling to said darkness, but ultimately his journey throughout the entire series, culminating in Dream Drop Distance, was mastering said darkness, making it a part of his home, as he told Ansem so famously at the end of DDD, "You're part of my heart now, Ansem! Part of the light!" And bada bing, bada boom. Riku became the Twilight Master. He who walked in darkness and can now wield it as his own, alongside the boy who can wield light, such as Sora. But considering that Sora has already mastered light, and ultimately we would probably want a new interesting journey against these antagonists who are also steeped in light, wouldn't it be interesting if Sora walked down a path of darkness? And notably, I'm not just pulling this out of, it'd be interesting if we flip the role reversal of the original saga. The original saga was also low-key kind of building to such a development. If you look at least the numbered titles, but even some of this, I'm not going to say the side games, because there are no side games in Kingdom Hearts. Heck, some of the side games, quote-unquote, have more important stories than some of the main games in the grand scheme of things. But still, if we look at the mainline journey of Sora's darkness throughout the Kingdom Hearts series, it actually has been one of slowly but surely developing darkness. If you remember, in Kingdom Hearts 1, when Sora had lost his body, when he stabbed the Key of Hearts into his chest to free Kairi's heart from his own, all of the darkness deep within inside Sora as his body was cast away resulted in a shadow. A pure blood shadow. That was all his darkness amounted to. It didn't turn into a Neo Shadow. He didn't turn into a Dark Ball. He didn't turn into anything like that. He was just a shadow. So, in Kingdom Hearts 1, the Keyblade Master, Sora, was ultimately just a tiny speck of darkness. Chain of Memories happens, and we see Sora dive deeper into a type of darkness, all for the sake of Naminé. And then we see that growth, even if you forgot it all, sort of culminate in Kingdom Hearts 2 with the Drive Forms. Now, of course, Anti-Form, for all intents and purposes, might as well not be canon. I'll readily admit that. There's no cutscene at all in Kingdom Hearts where Anti-Form is even acknowledged as a thing. But once again, I'm kind of pulling out what the games have to offer here. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, bada bing, bada boom, what does he have? Anti-Form. His darkness taking over. And it's a lot bigger and stronger than before. Of course, Sora this time is maintaining his physical form, but he loses the Keyblade. He gets coated in darkness. His eyes become the iconic bright yellow that is associated with darkness in the universe. Clearly, his darkness has grown a whole lot stronger, a whole lot more rabid, a whole lot more feral. Now, what causes this is obviously naturally possibly a growth in his own power, but also the level of darkness he'd been experiencing all throughout Chain of Memories. Once again, if he forgot it, as was clearly mentioned multiple times, even if the mind forgets, the heart will remember. He went through a lot of dark things in Chain of Memories, and Re-Chain of Memories, naturally. And of course, even in Kingdom Hearts 2, his darkness is never stopping its growth and development. It's just evolving and further growing and culminating to the point where he nearly gets taken over by Xehanort in Dream Drop Distance. But of course, he's saved by Riku and Lee and so on and so forth. So it's glorious, it's wonderful, it's beautiful. But what's next? What's left? What's shown? Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. And what is the apex, the pinnacle of Sora's darkness there? Oh, it's Rage Form. Rage Form, not even Anti-Form, which at least still implied that the dark form that Sora undertook was still opposite to him. It was still separate from it. It was the opposite. It was a punishment. It was wrong. It was never even acknowledged in canon. You need to go into Rage Form. And it's not just a game mechanic anymore. It is a part of a cutscene in the final battle. In order to defeat Xehanort in Kingdom Hearts 3, you canonically turn into Rage Form. Of course, against Sora's will. Xehanort literally hits him with the, "Boy, get going! Bah!" and then he takes all the light out of him and you have to recollect it. But still, that goes to show how much more powerful Sora's darkness has become. Even if you completely ignore Antiform in Kingdom Hearts 2, clearly the shadow that once existed in Sora's heart is much stronger. The darkness is growing stronger alongside Sora himself. And what if that's the key? What if, in order to escape this unreality, in order to fight those who've been consumed by the light, in order to fight those who may just be light itself, depending on how you interpret the Master of Masters, he needs to walk down the same path that Riku walked, but in a different way. Because ultimately, Riku gained the power of darkness externally. It was Ansem who reached into him, awoke it within him, and then took him over, giving Riku that insane, deep, dark power that was the once originally Master Xehanort's. But notably, all of Sora's darkness has mostly been his own. He never had to get possessed by Xehanort to grow this powerful in the shadow. So what if that's his next step? Growing into that darkness. Accepting it. Understanding the complications of it. Notably, Kingdom Hearts dances around this dichotomy that light and darkness are not necessarily opposites nor enemies, rather they are two halves of the same whole. Ultimately, you cannot have light without darkness, and you cannot have darkness without light. But the way the main series, at least the Dark Seeker Saga, treats it, is that yeah, you shouldn't have light without darkness, or you can't have darkness without light, but ultimately the light needs the light real hard. They need to be fighting everybody whoever associates and uses the darkness. Except for Riku, of course. So why not the same thing for Sora? I think it'd be the next most logical step. And I think it's why, or could be, a good path of Sora finally actually becoming a master. Accepting the whole of himself. The reason Riku became a master at the end of DDD isn't just for the fact that he didn't get tricked and captured by the organization, but also for the fact that he understood himself. He understood that balance between light and darkness within his own heart, and he was no longer consumed by either, rather wielding them both as tools, actually wielding them as equals. Now, of course, it didn't work out all too well by the end of KH3, that's why Sora had to reset the timeline, but still, it's there for Riku. And obviously, a lot of Sora's journey is chasing Riku. Metaphorically, literally, and actually. But in this case, I think Sora walking down the path of darkness in order to combat the light could actually feed into the idea of balance that the series has been so heavily pushing, but not necessarily encouraging too much. Riku's pretty much the only character to do it. Every other character has a rather traumatic experience with darkness and those who wield it. Aqua, do I need to go into it? Terra, do I need to go into it? Ventus, do I need to go into it? Like, legit, almost, even Vanitas is even chained by the darkness that he truly is. Or at least that's what the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 implies for him. So what would be better than for darkness's not just PR rep, but also as a contrast to the Dark Seeker Saga? Truly make the Lost Masters arc stand a head and shoulders above and truly prove the ethos of the series, prove the ethos of balance above all other things. True, then have our golden boy, our beloved baby boy, the Keyblade wielder, the one we've been following since the beginning of it all, finally take a step into that darkness. Finally experience the shadows that exist within his heart. Finally become one of those who wield it and not get consumed by it. Not only, the thing I want to prove here is that I don't want Sora to just fall to the darkness and then, and then he needs to be saved again. Like, I'll admit, I'm even kind of bored with the idea that they have to go save Sora again, especially Riku. I'm like, dude, do your own thing. Like, come on now, we've been through this arc already. But if we're going to do that, let's allow Sora to reach into that darkness. Let's allow Sora to prove us right. Let's allow Sora to put his money where his mouth is, gosh darn it, because he speaks of the balance too. They all do. But the Guardians of Light are just that. Guardians of Light. And thusly, they've never given darkness the chance. But now, in a world that is not reality, but unreality, now in a world that was not introduced to the darkness until Sora himself appeared, now in a world where Sora's darkness has not done nothing but grow and evolve and strengthen and develop internally, completely against possibly his own will and beside himself, let's let him finally acknowledge it. Let's let him see it within himself and realize that this is the power he's going to need. Light isn't going to be enough. Not anymore. Not against these people who have been steeped in it their entire lives. Not against a man who's transcended the ages in Xigbar or now Lushu. Not against the man who may be light itself, the master of masters. Let us see Sora choose the darkness in order to fight the light that wishes to consume and control all things. Let Sora truly be the beacon of balance he was always meant to be. However, of course, that's what I think. Please, what do you guys think in the comment section down below? Do you guys agree with me? Do you think that ultimately Sora should walk down a path of darkness for the contrast he can do against the new antagonist, to continue his sort of journey of following Riku, to build on the idea that his darkness has been getting stronger throughout the series and all that and so on? Or do you guys think Sora should just stick to the light, and ultimately he should rather refine his control of the light rather than delving into a broader, more chaotic spirit that is the world of darkness? Please let me know all that and more in the comment section down below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, please do me a favor and leave dark heart. Leave dark heart in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you hit that little notification bell so you don't miss out on everything that comes to the channel. Also I do have a page down below where you support me for as low as $1 a month. He thinks exclusive videos, early content, and more. You also now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions, so the series I have to review, ad reactions of all my videos, and becoming $20 Patreon or $20 member. You can order whatever video you want. Also I have a link to my Ko-Fi description down below where you drop 5 beans for a short video, 25 beans for a long video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Back on the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Greyhound, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Brandon Payne, Glacier XE, and G Prosper. And then I'd like to give a big old thank you to our line art tier patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Igneo Lind, and A+A. And I'd like to give a big ol' thank you to our Ink tier members: Fine, Austin Wimberly Euchia, and Yuki Alla. Then I'd like to give a big ol' gargantuan thank you to our digital art tier members: Jay Warrior and AZ Void. Then I'd like to give a big gargantuan thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Overlord Zero, Joaquin Munoz, and Item Okami. And I'd like to give a final gargantuan, supersized, sweet mother of mercy, that kidney will be yours one day, or the Black Myth video, whichever comes first, possibly both, that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin Elder.